Hi everyone, my name is Jenny and welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title card and probably from my handle, there has been a little bit of a change on my channel. It's not a whole rebrand, it's a little bit of a refinement. Basically, I just took off space from my username and I think JYT Creative just has a better flow to it. So I am bringing that better flow energy into the year of 2026. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about my yearly goals. So for 2026, I am framing my goals a little bit differently. I only have one yearly goal and everything else I am breaking up into quarter goals. So the yearly goal that I have for 2026 is to read 12 books in the year. I changed my 2025 reading goal to only 24 books, which would be 2 books a month. And I think that lower goal and the kind of slower pace that I set up for myself has been really helpful. I know that my reading mood changes between month to month, and just the past few months within the fall season, I haven't read as much. And so I feel like I'm not as daunted at the end of the year to pick up all these books and try to hit a just arbitrary reading goal that I've made. And so I think 12 is a great goal to have in mind for myself, to always just read 1 book a month. And then for my Q1 goals, I have reading goals, I have life goals, and then I have crafting goals. And then also, I think towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you my journal ecosystem for the year of 2026. So let's talk about books. I have 3 books that I want to basically start. 2 of them I'm going to finish in Q1, but the first book that I want to start in Q1 and is one that I'm going to take throughout the year is The Count of Monte Cristo. Me and a few of my friends are going to be reading this together, and my friend Gabby had shared this blog post of somebody who split The Count of Monte Cristo into 36 weeks. And so as you can see, I have like my post-its for each week assignment. And so basically Q1, I will be starting that. I won't be completing it unless it becomes so enthralling that I just complete it all in one go. Who knows? I've not read this book, obviously, but this one is a classic revenge tale, and I know my best friend in real life. She said this is one of her favorite books and one of her favorites that she'd read in class, and so I'm very excited. I, for one, am a revenge story lover, so I'm very, very excited to read this. And then another longer book that I want to start and complete in Q1 is going to be The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. This book, I'm going in with a different mindset. I was speaking to Erin from, I think, is her handle still Booked and Busy? It might have changed. I can't remember. I know her Discord changed to Hobby Lobby, but that's beside the point. She was telling me that if I read this, that I should try to read it in a shorter span of time. So I want to start this in maybe January, who knows? Not February, because February is like a shorter month, so either January or March. I'd like to start House of Leaves and complete it within that month. And I think what was really daunting to me was that I was reading the text, going to the footnotes, reading the text, going to the footnotes, and it kind of broke up my flow. So what I'm planning to do when I read House of Leaves is actually reading the main story on that chapter, going back to the beginning of the chapter and then reading the footnotes there. The storyline in this is basically our main character Johnny gets a hold of these documents of this house that seems to be bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and it has a very creepy, eerie feeling. I had gotten to I think 3 or 4 chapters into this, and it was very intriguing and very enthralling, but I just got very overwhelmed with that going back and forth reading style. So I will be trying to tackle this read come Q1 of 2026, and hopefully this becomes a new favorite horror book for me. And then sticking in the lines of horror, I actually did not realize that I was picking such gloomy books to start Q1, but the next book I have is The Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. I don't know much about the plot of this book. I just know that it's a more historical horror, and I think it involves vampires. I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that. But this is my beautiful aardvark copy. I just love the buttery texture of their covers and also their hardcover as well. I know that Aardvark had this like whole voting thing that they had going on for like their best book of 2026 from their subscription service, and they released a special hardcover edition that will be available January 2026. I don't know if I'm going to get that copy because, you know, I already have this one, but I'll put a picture on the screen for you. I think the hardcover is so beautiful and stunning. Do I need a second copy of a book I have yet to read? I don't think so. So I'm going to probably reel it in and not get it, but you know, it's such a beautiful one. I just had to show you. But I'm very excited to continue on with Stephen Graham Jones' work. I had done a live show for the Literally Dead Book Club, and Bree, who was in that live show, said that she loved The Only Good Indians, which was a book I adored from this year. And she said that this book was even better than The Only Good Indians. So I'm very, very much looking forward to it, and I can't wait to message her when I start this book and give her all the updates on my read. All right, and with my bookish goals completed, let's talk about my main crafting goal of Q1. And I have been working on this little head bonnet thing that I got from the company Wool and the Gang, and it's the Damson Matter bonnet. And I was just really inspired to pick up knitting, and I finally did it at the end of this year. So my Q1 goal for 2026 is to actually knit a full sweater for myself. And since I really enjoyed the sort of setup that I had for the Wool and the Gang kit that I got, I decided to get another kit. So I have a sweater from the Wool and the Gang, and I decided to go with this company, one, because I was getting an influx of ads from them, and I just thought that knitting felt a little bit daunting to me, going out on my own and trying to figure out like the weight of the yarn, how much yarn I needed. I feel like all the other times before that I've gone to the craft store and I've bought yarn, they kind of just sit there because it feels a little daunting to be like, if I start a project, what if I don't get enough? And then the mindset of not getting enough, I end up getting too much yarn. I did crochet a scarf at the beginning of this year, and it was this beautiful like rainbow colored yarn, and I ended up undoing that entire project, and I think I'm going to do something else with it now that I think I prefer knitting, and knitting just works better for my brain. I always talk about how crocheting feels like the yarn is just like floating in the air for me, and I have to be very conscious and very present when I am counting my stitches, as opposed to knitting. When you have stitches, they're on the knitting needle and it's easier to count and like just keep track for me, and it just works better in my mind. And so I decided to get this sweater. It's called the Hardy sweater. It's in the level easy. I really like Wool and the Gang because not only do they have these kits, but they have the level of what the kit is. So the easiest one is the beginner, but I thought that because I knew like basics of knitting, that the easy one, the easy level is pretty manageable. And then the bonnet that I'm currently working on right now is easy level as well. And I don't think anything is too incredibly difficult. They do tell you like how to do certain stitches and certain sort of knitting techniques is in the pattern booklet. And they also have a lot of resources on their actual YouTube channel. And then, you know, just YouTubing like how to do a long tail cast on or how to do a stock knit pattern. Those things are really easy and really accessible on YouTube as well. So I don't think it'll be too daunting for me. And then the other thing that's really nice is that they give you the appropriate amount of yarn in your package for the size that you have. So on there you can be like, oh, like when you read their pattern and decide what size you want, they give you the exact amount of yarn that you need. So the Hardy sweater is a sort of striped ribbed top, a little bit of a bell sleeve sweater. And so I have the base is going to be this beautiful pink mohair, and then there's a stripe of red, and I believe the other stripe is going to be white. I will show you the product image from their website because I just decided to do the base color that they had instead of, you know, making my own sort of color. I've never knit with mohair, and the hair, the strand looks quite fine. So hopefully that's something that I can, you know, work with and manage. I do also like the fact that if you don't have certain knitting needles, they also give you the option of buying their needles. Their needles are made out of a wood material, which I think is great for their like mohair and the wool that I'm using. It's really slippery on metal. I do have a pair of metal ones of the same exact size. Since I use the Beechwood knitting needles that they provided in the kit for the bonnet, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just get one of these because I like the texture of them better. And then also they have like the single standalone needles. I didn't need those ones because I have like a big variety pack of like solo needles that I can use, so I didn't need to get it from that kit. If you're somebody who gets overwhelmed like me, I think it's really nice to have a curated kit like this because you don't have to think about the amount of yarn. They give you the exact, if not a little bit more than what you need. And so Wool and the Gang makes it so easy to just select something that is within your skill level, but then also having, you know, the finished product that, you know, seems very doable. And there's so many yarns. You can also go on there and buy obviously like their needles and their yarns separately, but I think the kits so far have been a really fun thing, and so that is my craft goal for this year. And by the way, obviously I'm not sponsored, I'm just chatting about like something that I got an ad for like months and months and months, and I decided to, you know, bite the bullet on it. I'm very excited for that Q1 goal, and this sweater is going to be absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait to wear it and then be like, yeah, I made this sweater. I am so excited. So that is my main crafting goal. I don't think there's anything else that I want to fully make and accomplish. Really, the craft that has had my mind in a chokehold has been knitting thus far. So I am so excited to make this, and hopefully I can graduate from these kits and be comfortable with going out on my own and sourcing my own yarn and finding you know, patterns online and just making anything and everything that is possible. Around the time that I bought this kit as well, it was very affordable due to them having like a sale on their website. So the quality of the yarn, like mohair and 100% wool, I think this one was like I think the bonnet one that I'm working on right now is alpaca. Yeah, it was 70% baby alpaca, 70% merino, and 23% recycled nylon. And for the quality and the amount of alpaca you're getting in this, it is very nice and very soft. And then also because, like, you know, when you go into the store and you're looking at the construction of a lot of sweaters and knit things, a lot of the time it happens to be synthetic material. And so getting to have something that tells you like the percentage of like the fibers in there is really nice, and them mostly being natural fiber is also great. I'm sure that there's other yarn places that I can buy like nice mohair, cashmere, wool and stuff like that, but I will be doing that research once I graduate from my very first sweater knit. So we've talked about my book goals, my craft goals. Now we're going to get into my personal goals before I show you my journal setup. And the biggest thing that I want to do is create a habit. So the first thing in Q1 that I'm doing is trying to set up the habit of drinking enough water a day. I think this is a pretty simple, achievable goal. I think that I am trying to rewire myself to just be consistent about drinking water because I find I work from home. So I find that when I am sucked into my work and I'm really focused, I completely forget to sustain myself. I forget to drink water. I forget to get up and kind of like do some stretches. And sometimes I end up forgetting to eat until like I feel incredibly hungry. And I don't know if this is like undiagnosed ADHD or like what this is about, but I want to make a habit of being able to drink at least 4 cups of my Awala. I think my Awala is like a 30 something ounce. And I want to drink 4 of those a day. So let's be drinking more water, staying hydrated in 2026. I don't know if I am going to be doing a like visual post-it note on my desk. I think that might work better for me because when I write things down, I just remember and retain it better. I used to have this like water app on my phone, but the constant notification every hour of like drink water, I became like used to that notification and I completely ignore it, right? Like you're like, it's just like another notification on my phone and I'll get to it when I get to it. And then like 3 hours have passed and I've not drinking water like the notification has told me. And I just think digital things just don't compute in my brain the same way as when I write it down. So maybe in my journal, I can have like a little water tracker, or maybe I'll just do the post-it note thing and we'll see how that works. But yeah, I just need to be more consistent about hydration because obviously that's good for you. And then the second life goal, I want to make a habit of using my walking pad or going outside and taking walks. I don't think, honestly, in the sort of work from home environment that I have, that 10,000 steps a day is necessarily achievable. I think what I'm going to do is sort of shift to this one sort of walking method that I saw. I think it was not discovered, but I think some like Japanese health person or scientist had said that if you do a circuit of like 5 minutes walking, 5 minutes jog, or like fast walking, so 5 minutes leisure walking, 5 minutes fast walking, and doing that interchangeably for like half an hour is just as equally beneficial as doing like 10,000 steps a day. And so I want to implement that in my own routine. And because I'm building a routine and not making this a goal, I want to start off at least the first month of Q1. So January, I want to do the half an hour of switching off from slow walking to quick walking, to let's say 2 times a week. Let's do that 2 times a week and kind of build the habit of that. And then as we get into February, we can up that to 3 times a week. The goal is to obviously do that every single day, but I don't want to set myself up for failure and be like, we're going to do this every single day and then not do that every single day and then feel like, wow, how shitty am I that I did not do that life goal? I don't know if this is technically a personal goal. I'll just add this in as a fun thing for my goals for Q1, but I also want to do a croissant bake. That seems very scary and very daunting, but I have been getting into baking this year, which is kind of a little bit more of a personal thing. But I think being able to make my own homemade croissants sounds like a dream. So I'm going to be making that a goal for myself here and now. Q1, we have to at least attempt one croissant bake for Q1. Okay, so now we're going to talk about my journal setup for 2026. This is my pocket journal from Paper Republic. This is my Hobonichi Weeks for 2026. And then this is the Paper Republic, I believe, portfolio in the A5 size. So let's talk about the weeks first. This is this cute little Miffy and Boris sticker that I got from like an indie artist market thing. If I find the name of the artist, I will put it on the screen here for you. This Hobonichi Weeks I got for myself in Japan, so all of the interior writing is going to be in the native language of Japanese. I really like the Hobonichi Weeks. I'm going to be using this as my memory keeping sort of journal. I switched to the Mega in 2025 and felt like I didn't use a lot of the extra pages that were given, so I went back to the normal weeks, and I think that will be manageable and doable for me for the year of 2026. So in here we have a year at a glance, all of the 2026 dates. They also have a reference of the prior year and then 2027. I really like that there's also this yearly page as well. I used to do like my period tracker on this page, but maybe I'll do something a little bit different. Let me actually zoom you in so you can see this page set up a little better. But yeah, that is the sort of week for that. And then they have like every month. So here I would do like a budget tracker of everything. I think I'm going to try to figure out my budgeting tracker in this journal a little bit differently. I think maybe not do that at all because this is for my memories and for fun stuff. So I think I'm going to do budgeting in a completely different thing. But this is what the monthly spreads look like. I really do like how compact and simple it is. And then here is what the weeks look like. Oh, there's also these like little bookmark strings. So for the weeks, there is like each day of the week here. It goes from Monday to Sunday, and then there's always these fun little quotes on the bottom. Because I got it in Japan, it obviously is in Japanese, but this is something that, you know, if I really feel necessary, I can go ahead and translate these. Every week there's a different one, and there's always some fun, really cute nuggets in these quotes. So I definitely will try to translate those. I really do like that there is the month at a glance at the corner. But basically what I do is like jot down my thoughts and opinions on each day. Not every single day do I write things down here. And then I love that there's this big empty space for like, you know, if the day is really chaotic, I can just jump over here and jot down my thoughts and opinions. I really like the weekly setup for memory planning because I don't feel as daunted when it's like a whole page for a day and I feel like, oh my gosh, I haven't filled out my days and I've fallen behind. I don't feel as bad when I've like missed a couple days because then I can put like little cute fun silly stickers or like little doodles in this section and it's good enough. And you know, if need be, I just put big stickers and be like, I didn't journal this week. So it's not as daunting as like a really big like bullet journal where you have to set things up all on your own. I really like how compact this is and just how much more simple and more at ease I feel when I am filling out the pages. And then at the very back, after the year, there is this cute little like 365 day tracker thing. So you can do whatever you want. Maybe I can do my water tracker here, who knows? But you can like color in every bubble. Last year or for 2025, I did like not any tracking. I just filled in each bubble because it was really fun. And then over here is the note page, and it's just empty grid paper. So I think what I'll do here is do my month at a glance and do like my reading tracker here and probably do like the books that I read in January, the books that I read in February, yada yada, and like just like little memory keeping here and there that I think I need extra of and it doesn't fit in, you know, the weekly page here. And then also what's really cute is that they have this little like measurement thing. So how many ever centimeters like your hand width is, you can write it in there, or inches if you're somebody who does inches. And then this is my 100 page. So you can do like your 100 things that you did in the year, maybe like the 100 shows I watched or the 100 books. I've never actually utilized this. I sort of started it in my 2025 one where I did my 100 like favorite things, and then I like left off at like 20 something or whatever. But yeah, I didn't completely fill that out for 2025, but maybe 2026 I'll try to utilize this a little bit better. And then here, I could only assume that this has to do with like parties and events, work stuff, maybe some shows stuff, and some book stuff, because like look at these little cute pictures. This seems like food. This seems like some greeting event, like going out socializing. This seems like film sort of things, activities, and then this looks like books. So maybe this can be a tracker for those things. Free space. Okay, this is a free space. This looks like activities. This looks like food because it's a little rice. And then this is shaking hands. And then here is usually like a cute little guide. Let me actually pull out my 2025 one because that one is in English, and then I can show you the cute little things. I think each year they do different ones, but I just really like this. This is about like nature and birds. Over here is like aquatic stuff, plants. How cute. Oh, and there's dates. So this must be correlated with the date, the month, and the day. There's probably something interesting going on there. Oh, look, that's my mom's birthday. That's my brother's birthday. That's the day before my birthday. Yeah, how cute. Love that. And then some more things. This, I think, is probably like an example of how you can do some setups. And then some more dates here. I wish I could read kanji, but I cannot. This looks like a contact list because, you know, fax number. So this is probably just like, you know, your contacts and everything. And then this is the back end here. Here is my 2025 one. It is quite thick because I've had like, you know, I put like pages of my book covers and such on there. But there's a 100 page. They just put it in a different one, a different section in the 2026 one. And then here are like little sample symbols of like what you can draw in your own weeks sections. Like, look, your little feelings. How cute. If you went to the museum, if you went to the hair salon. I think that is just such an adorable feature of this. And then like oodles of noodles. And so they tell you about different types of Japanese style noodles here. And then here, as I showed you, was my 365-day checkoff. I clearly did not keep up with this, but yeah, there's that. But yeah, that is my weeks for 2026. Can't wait to get into that one. And then let's get into my Paper Republic portfolio. This one I'm actually doing more so for schooling. In the second half of the year, I plan to go back to school. So when I was in Japan, I saw that they had Paper Republic in Itoya, and I have only accessed Paper Republic online. And so I thought, wow, I did not know that they would have the Paper Republic journal covers there, and they also had like some refills and such. So I decided to treat myself, and this was like a preschool kind of treat, and I will be taking my notes in this. There's nothing that I've done so far in here, but I really appreciate the pockets. I've seen like people put pens in this small pocket, and like this one can be for little doodads. I have my Itoya receipt there, and then this is the certification for my Paper Republic journal cover. And then here I just have the Paper Republic that refill that it comes with, which is always going to be a blank Paper Republic. And then I got some dot paper ones for my notes, and there's 2 of them. And in the back there's some more of these pockets. So there's a big wide one, and then these card slot pockets. I got it in the red on red color. I'm sure I can find some sort of stamps to do personalization on my own there, but there is the brand stamp and then a red elastic. I don't know, maybe I will get some charms for this one, but we'll see once I start school what my vibes and feelings are for this. And the real star of the show, I think, is my Pocket Paper Republic. This has such a special place in my heart. I bought this for myself for my birthday, and I took it with me when I went to Japan in October, and I had like my plans and everything in there and my itinerary, and it's just been amazing to have this. So pocket size, it is the pocket, just the normal, I think it's called the Voyager. I'll put the correct name on it, but this one is the one that it's just the cover. There's no interior pockets or anything. And then my pen of choice is the Muji 0.5 pen. This one is refillable, so I definitely went and got some more of the refills when I was over there. They do have a Muji online, and they have Muji, what is it, in New York? But the Muji they had in LA, they closed, which I was like, that is so sad, but you know, here it is. I just really like how smooth the pen is. So this is my pen of choice. And then in here, I have my 2026 mini journal. I have my pocket of like little bits and bobs. I have my main like journal system here. We'll get into it more. I put like recipes and stuff in there, but again, I'll get into depth there. And then this is my blueprints. This is my gaming little journal and notes for when I'm playing the game. So let's go all the way from the start. I have my little planner for 2026 here, and it's a Snoopy one. So we have 2026 and 2027 at a glance. Let me zoom in again for you. So that is the year at a glance, and then another one of the yearly plan pages. I mostly got this for just having my own personal like schedule in there. I'm going to flip to a month that I don't have stuff on there because obviously it's like my personal schedule. I don't want you to know my personal stuff. So let's go into February. And so it's just a month layout like this. There's a little section for little notes, but I do like how just like laid out everything is. And at the very back, there's also blank pages, and I'm going to just use each page that corresponds with the same color as the month that they've set up. So for April, it's green, so I'm going to be writing in the green page if I do find it necessary. And it's really cute because at the end of here, they have like the subway system of Tokyo. So there's that. This is like an even, I'm assuming this is more of a basic overview, and this one's like the wide prefecture of Tokyo. And some more subway maps, and then a contact page. So very simple, like just really calendar-based planner in here. But look at how cute Snoopy is. And then in my pocket, I have just bits and bobs. Mostly this is like little scrap things that I have. Stickers, business cards. So here is a cute little sticker that I got from a recent artist market that I went to. Handle with care. How cute. It's from Care Pango. And then I have some cards and stuff. So this is from like a matcha place I went to, and their business card is so cute. I love the hot pink on there. That is beautiful. And the contrast with the green, very cute. And then one of the artists, this is their business card. You're a lucky duck. And then back here, business info. Very cute stuff. You should check out their work. And then I had gone to Kittyland in Tokyo, and I bought a Snoopy plush, and they gave me this 75 years of peanuts. And that's such a cute little glittery sticker. I don't know where I want to put this, so I have it in my thing here. And then in here I have my little card holder that I got from Human Made in Tokyo. The worker was so nice. When I bought a shirt from there, they gave me the little Shibuya rabbit. How cute. And there's app info for Human Made. My friend, while I was in Tokyo, actually went to New York, and she went to Books Are Magic. I told her like, oh, I really want to go there. And so she went and visited, and she got me this stunning sticker from there. I really appreciate that she thought of me on her first like trip to New York. This was just like an envelope that I got from like a charm when I went to Mount Fuji. I thought it was so beautiful, so I left it in there. And then this is business cards from more artists that I went to. I'll flip it around for you to see their info. This artist here has like coloring books and stuff. Really love their stickers. I got a few for my journal setup. And then this artist, I don't believe I got anything from them, but sometimes it's hard to remember. You're in like a fever dream when you're at an independent artist market and you just grab everything and anything. And I love how this business card looks like a Pokemon card. And I just put it in these individual because like my receipt when I went to Human Made went in there. And so I thought this was great so that it doesn't like slip and slide everywhere, you know? Let me put this back in their pockets. And over here I have the same card thing. This is my ticket to Japan. So let me just take this out off camera so I don't dox myself and my information. And then I have this one I got in Harajuku. So this is the Human Made polar bear. And then that person also had given me at the Shibuya location, gave me 2 of the bunnies. So I have a Human Made bear and a Human Made bunny. And then I also went to the Mad Happy that opened right when I went to Japan. So I got a cute little sticker for free with my purchase. And then my friend, as I said, had gone to Books Are Magic, and they had like this kind of like blind box, sort of like card stamp print thing. And so she pulled a card for me, and it happened to be the actual art for the storefront, and she said this one was perfect, so she bought it for me. Thought it was super, super cute, and I have it with me wherever I go in my pocket journal. And then I had a sticker from this like little witch Halloween sticker, and it had this backing, and I just thought that the card was so cute. This is the artist who made the art, but the sticker, this is not the sticker, this is the backing card. But I just thought the little witch was so cute, so I kept her in my little pocket journal with me to go about the town. And then for my personal journal, I have the sticker that I got from the artist event. It was like a sort of town map thing, and I thought it was really cute to do that at the front page, almost like a fantasy book when they have maps. Super cute there. And then this was the note my journal came with. So this is the person who helped make my journal. And then the next page is like bits and bobs. I'm like kind of covering it just in case there's personal stuff there, but my pocket journal. And then as we go on, here's like a spread I did for the Literally Dead book club. And like the next things is like me chit-chatting, and then like here's some recipes that I have. This is kind of like a commonplace journal that I have. I can write like lists of things and things that I'm looking and researching. A lot of it is just recipes. But yeah, it's going to be like the sort of thing that I can take with me with recipes and like making lists. Like I have like a year-end list here. I went to a Sabrina Carpenter concert, so I have like little stickers and things from that day. I was going to write the set list. I'll probably do that later. And then here are like stamps that I got from that artist event I went to. And then, you know, some more recipes. And it's nice because this is so petite. I can do some shopping lists in like the empty pages and have this journal with me. And then here is my gaming journal. I named it Blueprints because this is the game that I'm currently playing and I need to have notes for. And so this is like just bits and bobs that I see in the day. Haven't gotten that far in the game, but I just have that at the end there. And then that is the whole bind up. This is what the ends. Nothing too crazy because it's just that basic Paper Republic journal there. My little moon charm, and my pen just slots right in there perfectly. So this is my journal set up for 2026. Hopefully this encourages me to continue writing down and just documenting little moments of my life. I hope you enjoyed getting a look into that. And then let's move on back to me in front of the bookshelf so I can close off this video. All right, but that is my whole video on my goals for 2026 so far. Hopefully in maybe like towards the end of Q1, we can come back, we can talk about all of my goals and the things that we set up and then try to prepare for Q2. But I feel very positive about breaking up my goals in this way just because it's just more manageable and more achievable, I think, instead of having these goals that I have in the beginning of the year and completely forget about. I do want to hear about all of your 2026 plans. If you've made it this far and don't have anything else to say, are there yarn ball emojis? Any sort of crafting, journaly type emojis, do put it in the comments below to let me know you're here. I thank you so much for coming along with me. I will see you in my next video. I don't know if it's going to be like a reading vlog or if it's going to be my best books in 2025, but whichever that one is, I will see you then. I thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!